Rock Hudson's story will evoke many emotions. Feel compassionate, sad, perplexed, angry, and unsure how to feel. But one thing is certain. Rock Hudson offered enjoyment and camaraderie to many, but he didn't always get it back. Our topic will include scandals, Hollywood cover-ups, handlers, and the FBI. It will be much. Welcome to Cran Aloud, my channel. I analyze history's most famous stars here. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you have, enable your notification bell to never miss an upload. Born in Littletown, WKA, Illinois, on November 17, 1925, Roy Harold Shearer Jr. Rock Hudson was the sole child of Catherine Wood, a modest housewife turned telephone operator, and Roy Harold Sr., a talented car mechanic. Hudson adored his mama. His father was German and Swiss, and his mother was English and Irish. Hudson grew up under rigorous Roman Catholic norms. His father lost his job during the Great Depression and abandoned his family in desperation. This abandoning had long-term ramifications. His parents divorced when he was 4. After several difficult years, his mother legally adopted Roy without his consent in 1932 from Wallace Fitzgerald, a former Marine Corps officer Roy loathed, taking the name Roy Harold Fitzgerald. The marriage was doomed from the start and ended in painful divorce without children. On November 17, 1925, in WKA, Illinois, Roy Shearer Jr. was born. His father Roy Sr. departed when he was 5. In later years, Roy's mother Kay married Wallace Fitzgerald, who formally adopted him. Life didn't get easier. Roy's junior year at New Trier High School, Hudson had to discontinue his after-school activities to support his mother and himself after Wallace physically attacked Kay. Hudson attended New Trier High School in White and performed well, according to friends. People regarded him as a quiet, shy youngster and pathologically bashful guy during his formative years. Young Hudson was planning a global scandal behind this peaceful front. After working as an usher at local movie theaters during his turbulent teens, he became interested in acting. He tried out for several school plays, but his horrible line memorization, which plagued him throughout his acting career, got him rejected. Within a year of graduating high school in 1943, Hudson joined the U.S. Navy. The scandal started here. Susan Dent claimed to be Hudson's daughter in 2014. The narrative got stranger. Other accounts say he had 2 daughters. He was honorably dismissed in 1946 after returning to San Francisco on an aircraft carrier. He lived with his remarried biological father in Los Angeles. Hudson took odd jobs like truck driving to survive. Due of his bad grades, the USC Dramatics RAM rejected his acting attempts. Chance intervened when talent scout Henry Wilson spotted Hudson's 1947 photo and was immediately intrigued. Wilson mentored Hudson and made Roy Harold Fitzgerald Rock Hudson. Hudson later called the name a Hollywood pun. Rock Hudson's ascent to prominence was reportedly marked by ups and downs, scandals, and a frantic resolve. He was mentored by famed Hollywood talent scout Henry Wilson. Wilson heavily influenced Hudson's career, frequently bordering on exploitation. Wilson took Hudson under his wing, although he probably required our cuts and sleep with him, according to Tony Curtis. This certainly sparked his curiosity in guys. The dark undertones of this statement indicated Wilson's power over clients. Pure control rumors were his goal. Wilson allegedly threatened to divulge Rock Hudson's secrets to blackmail him. This was just the beginning of Hudson's tragic journey of fame-seeking. His surprising actions included caps on his teeth and surgery to lower his voice, which gave him a sexy baritone sound but prevented him from singing. Thus, he avoided musicals throughout his career. I didn't realize voice-lowering surgery existed. Did you know? Hudson pursued acting despite these sacrifices. Actor in 1954 romantic drama Magnificent Obsession. He became famous overnight when his act enthralled onlookers. Hudson's popularity increased after the film's box office success. He was 1954's most popular actor. His All That Heaven Allows and Giant roles cemented his fame. Giant got him an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. Hudson continued to shine in romantic comedies with Doors Stay, Pillow Talk, Lover Come Back, and Send Me. In the late 1960s, she appeared in Seconds, one of my favorite films with them, Oh Riveting, So Brooke, and Ice Station Zebra. He tried TV because he wasn't thrilled with the writing. A starring role in Macmillan and Wife, a popular mystery series, paid off his gamble and gained him more followers. Hudson last appeared on TV as a guest star on Dynasty So Rock's 6th season. Hudson's off-screen romance with Elizabeth Taylor was electric. I did a video for Grace Kelly and Elizabeth Taylor, and Hudson chose Taylor over Grace Kelly for his movie because of their chemistry. They drank chocolate martinis until dawn in individual residences across from each other while filming. Taylor, a bold and passionate woman, often visited Hudson's backyard in her knickers. Residents would peek at the celebs eating in public during this bold show. Their late-night drinking sessions and Taylor's provocative dress made them the talk of the town. Not all giant romances were pleasant. Hudson and Dean had a tight, adversarial relationship. Hudson often clashed with volatile James Dean. Peeing on DeMarcus territory was part of his rebellion because he wasn't getting as much credit or money as Hudson. As everyone knows, the James Z video was wild. He insulted Hudson, a sensitive but kind guy. Dean, who struggled with his sexuality, disliked Hudson's straightening up. He claimed Hudson was pursuing him. Dean was angry and tackled Hudson, kissing him in French, shocking and confusing him. All the animosity James Dean showed Rock Hudson probably meant he liked him. Hudson partied hard at Hollywood's late-night parties, but masked his sexuality. Hudson typically danced about the room in a ballerina costume as the night progressed. Hudson had many affairs at Hollywood gatherings, which are wild. Some believed Elizabeth Taylor was close to Rock Hudson because she knew he was gay and protected him. Elizabeth Taylor's husband liked Rock Hudson too. Hudson and Elizabeth Taylor's friendship because they agreed to do things 3 ways and other ways. Serverin also said she liked a 3-way with Rock Hudson and didn't think he was gay because they did that. Because of this, many of his close female acquaintances thought he was gay, which made them good buddies. They'd play his beard. I recently did a video for Marilyn Maxwell on how she played his beard while pretending to be his lover. Don't misinterpret that. He had many ladies do that. His act included them. He loved freely. Some of Hudson's late-night rendezvous were hot, adding to his scandalous personal life. Rock Hudson and his agent Henry Wilson fought hard to keep his personal life private as his Hollywood celebrity developed. However, in 1955, gossip magazine Confidential threatened to divulge Hudson's secret. She liked males. Wilson stopped the scandal by prosecuting 2 more clients. Remember that I've advised in several videos to utilize P for scandals. Diddy, for example. In this situation, Harvey W. will say, "I'm exposed." His publicist, handlers, and everything else will disclose someone else's secret to divert the public. The fall of Bill Cosby, P. Diddy, and other superstars frequently brings down many others. Take the spotlight off myself and focus on these folks to help the public forget. Because the public forgets and moves on after a new scandal. This method was used throughout Hollywood's golden age. People couldn't speak out since the mafia would take them if they did wrong. Nothing could be revealed. If they had revealed anything back then, many stars and starlets would die mysteriously. When a star dies, we can simply conclude, oh, we see why there's greater exposure. I dislike the public's phony outrage because we don't care after a while. We proceed. Attention spans are short. They did this to Rock Hudson, and publications tried to hide his secrets, but they only revealed others because he was so profitable for the studios. A major star of his time. Popular, usually taking center stage. They had to protect him, so when anything bad happened, they blamed others and revealed their secrets. They couldn't do that for long until Rock Hudson was surrounded. Hudson's sexuality was widely known throughout Hollywood despite their efforts. Julie Andrews, Mia Farrow, Elizabeth Taylor, and Susan St. James reportedly knew his tastes. Audrey Hepburn and Carol Burnett, close friends, guarded the secret, and I made Audrey videos. He did something unexpected after the secret incident. He married Wilson's secretary Phyllis Gates. Rumors circulated that Phyllis Gates knew. Stars often played off each other's attractiveness. Women like men, and men like women. Let's marry, they said. Later, Gates said that their relationship was real and not just a smokescreen for hide Hudson's past, as Sim suggests. She said that they had dated for a few months and lived together for 2 before Hudson proposed marriage. Hudson was quoted as saying, "When I count my blessings, my marriage is at the top of the list." They divorced in April. Hudson did not contest the divorce, and Gates received $250 weekly alimony for 10 years. As mentioned, she never remarried. Giant Rock married Phyllis Gates privately at the Biltmore Hotel in Santa Barbara. Phyllis played Rock's gorgeous wife and attended all his public activities. For This Earth Is Mine, they visited California wine region. Behind the scenes, Rock and Phyllis were divorcing bitterly. This is it. Gates recorded Rock Cuds confessing to picking up men and other stuff secretly. I won't play scary audios on YouTube to avoid offending people. Why don't you stay with me? Intimacy looks hurried. Does lying down with males feel the same for you? He said, no. I last longer with men because it doesn't fit guys. I can't make this up. His package was so big that it didn't fit too well in the man, so he'd have to move slower and take his time. TMI, sorry to say this, but with her it just fit. And he went. He was also suggesting that she was pretty big now there too. I can't make this stuff up. It's just crazy to know that you see how you look at a woman. A lot of older people, like our grandmothers and grandfathers, act so holy and righteous. And you're like, y'all are living, you're young. It's hard to imagine the gold when you think of the golden age of Hollywood. Everyone walked with an air of prestige. And I don't get involved in scandals very often. Then when you read stories like this, you think, this is crazy. And when you look at news articles from the past, unlike just regular citizens, don't let your grandparents fool you. Okay, they were living. It felt like a crazy conversation happening today. Not in the golden age, but he told her, yeah, Rock Hudson, was still seeing women and Gates was still seeing him despite the rumors and such. It probably wasn't a preference. Since he didn't say it was a preference in the audios, he just said, this is why I last longer. It's not because I'm rushing with you. It's just I last longer here. Okay, enough with the nonsense. The audios did come out later, and they were disturbing. In the biography Rock Hudson, his story, 1986 by Hudson and Tui Bui Shu, Sarah Davidson, it was revealed that Hudson had a close friendship with novelist Armistead Maupin, who said that the two had a brief sexual encounter. The book also listed the names of some of Hudson's lovers, such as Jack Coates, Tom Clark, who wrote the memoirs of Rock Hudson, Lee Carling Garlington, an actor and stockbroker, Mark Christian McKinn, who later successfully sued the Hudson estate, and Marlon Brando. And in the book, it talks about the great lengths he went to avoid being caught. For example, when he was dating Lee Garlington, he would have to park his car way off the grid, then walk the rest of the way to the house and sneak out at 6 a.m. and that's my best friend Lee and his wife. And he brought them along on the red carpets with me. That's crazy. But it became a problem for him. When on one of their secret getaways, Lee was the love of his life. A female friend broke into Rock Hudson's house and slept in his bed. There were pictures of Lee shirtless on Rock Hudson's nightstand and other things. Luckily for Rock Hudson, the young fan was so happy to be in his bed at the time that she didn't even notice the shirtless pictures. Nothing bad happened, but it was very scary for him. He realized he needed to be more careful after almost getting caught so quickly that he cut down on his social activities and became even more private with how much of himself he showed. At the start of the 1980s, Rock Hudson's years of heavy drinking and smoking started to catch up with him. His health started to get worse, and in November 1981, he had a heart attack. Fast forward to 1984, and Hudson noticed an odd rash on his neck. He went to the doctor thinking it might just be a skin problem, but the diagnosis was life-changing. It wasn't just a skin problem. It was a cancerous growth called cocyceroma. This news sent shock waves through the world. Hudson struggled with the truth of his situation over the next few months, as his health got worse, and he started losing weight. At first, he blamed his frail appearance on anorexia. Hudson was afraid that telling people about his illness would reveal that he was gay. So he wanted them to think that he had an ED and that he wasn't eating because anything was better than that. That was his main thought after being diagnosed. Hudson then took a shocking step by sending 4 men letters anonymously telling them about his illness, saying things like, "We recently slept together, please go to your doctor and have a checkup," end quote. The letters must have been a cold, stark wake-up call for the recipients. Tragically, one of the men was 22 years old and had been with Hudson for a short time. Hudson continued to work and secretly looked for experimental treatments in France. But time was running out. On July 21, 1985, Hudson collapsed in a Paris hotel. His publicist tried to calm people's fears by saying he was suffering from liver cancer. But by July 25th, Hudson's condition had gotten so bad that his publicist could no longer hide the truth. Hudson was dying from AIDS. The news shocked people around the world, and Hudson became one of the first celebrities to publicly admit to having the disease, which changed the way people talked about it. His friends and fans sent him grief messages and support, and his confession led to a surge in donations for AIDS research. However, Hudson's admission caused a lot of controversy because it came after he shared an open-mouth kiss with actress Linda Evans on Dynasty. At the time, the CDC had issued a warning about the possibility of AIDS transmission through saliva, and many people criticized Hudson for not telling his co-star. Ed Asner, who was president of the Screen Actors Guild at the time, said that Hudson's admission had caused a wave of panic in the film and TV industry, leading to scripts being rewritten to remove kissing scenes and people wanting to get tested before even kissing or doing intimate scenes anymore. The Guild later said that actors would be warned about open-mouth kissing scenes and could refuse to take part without any consequences. On October 2, 1985, at approximately 9 o'clock a.m. Hudson died at his home in Bly Hills from complications caused by AIDS. He was only 59 years old. In honor of his last wishes, there was no funeral and his body was cremated just hours after he died. This marked the end of a life lived in the public eye. When Rock appeared on 9 episodes of Dynasty in the fall of 1984, people noticed how thin he looked, but he said he was just dieting. At the Golden Globe Awards with Liza Minnelli and Elizabeth Taylor, it became clear that he was sick. I think his death helped a lot of people by making people think about and talk about AIDS. It was so sad and tragic. Back in 1985, he was 59 years old, but his death brought on a lot of scandals too. This wasn't the end. The news of Rock Hudson's AIDS diagnosis sent shockwaves through Hollywood. But perhaps no one was more stunned than Hudson's former lover Mark Christian. Christian alleged that Hudson had knowingly concealed his illness, continuing their intimate relationship despite being aware of his status. The disclosure sparked a deep-seated fear in Christian, who was terrified that he may have contracted the illness in response. Christian took immediate legal action. He filed a lawsuit against Hudson's estate for intentional infliction of emotional distress. And although Christian never tested positive for HIV, the court ruled in his favor. But his legal battles didn't end there. Christian also sued Hudson's personal secretary, Mark Miller. Christian, 21, won a huge $10 million jury award because he said Miller lied to him about Hudson's illness in 1989. $75 million in damages, which were later cut down to $5 million. But despite the bitter legal battles, Christian defended Hudson in an interview saying, "You can't dismiss a man's whole life with a single act." In 2010, Robert Park Mills, who represented Hudson's estate in the lawsuit, wrote a book called Between Rock and a Hard Place in defense of Rock Hudson. The book goes into detail about the trial and questions the validity of Christian's claims against Hudson. Christian wasn't the only one who was shocked when Hudson was diagnosed with AIDS. Lee, along with Hudson's death, Garlington Hudson's long-lost love, was shocked to learn that the FBI had been investigating him for allegedly being gay. This was part of a larger pattern of the FBI under J. Edgar Hoover, looking into private lives and issues that did not involve breaking federal law, such as private sexual activity for blackmail. Also, it's not just Hollywood gangsters who use blackmail. The government is also a gangster organization that uses it against stars and celebrities to get them to back down or do what they want. They know about your secret affairs and little things you do. And even if you are innocent, they can make it look like you did. They do this to a lot of stars and rock stars. Hudson definitely had a file on him, but these kinds of investigations often led to secret files on people. In his last days, Hudson was really worried about his soul. Where would he go if he died? Would he go to heaven, etc.? He was raised Roman Catholic, but later became an atheist. As his death approached, he turned back to his childhood faith and belonged to the Catholic Church. He begged a priest to hear his confessions, and in his dying moments, he asked for forgiveness for the secrets he kept all along, including hiding his sexual orientation. Those close to him said he started to feel a lot of regret for living this way. Of course, many people saw him as a symbol for the LGBT community. Many people were upset about how his life ended, wondering why he would express regret or anything. But that was just how he grew up. Everyone else had said something different. And for him, living this way caused the illnesses he had at the time. I don't know what to say, guys, but please leave a comment below with your thoughts. This was such a crazy story. It seemed to get wilder, right? Hollywood in the golden age was much more interesting than Hollywood today. I'm just saying it's crazy. I love you guys so much. If you like the music you're listening to, the link is in the description. Until next time.